Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you the biggest mistake people make with manifestation isn't about what they do, but when they do it? You've been missing the most powerful window to change your life while you sleep. And tonight, that changes. Right now, you're probably trying to manifest during the day, visualizing affirmations, maybe journaling. But the truth, your subconscious is 90% more receptive at night. While you sleep, your brain isn't distracted by doubts, logic, or that voice saying, "This won't work, it's just open." So tonight we're not just doing a meditation, we're reprogramming your mind in the exact state where real change happens. Let's begin. Most people think manifestation is about forcing things into reality. They grit their teeth, repeat affirmations like a robot, and wonder why nothing changes. But here's the hard truth. If your subconscious doesn't believe it, your conscious effort means nothing. That's why you can want something so badly yet still feel blocked. Tonight we bypass that. No effort, no forcing, just alignment. The body before the mind. Lie down, lay down. Let yourself sink into the surface beneath you. Don't try to relax. Just notice. Notice the weight of your body pressing down. Your feet, your legs, your spine, the places where tension hides without you even realizing it. The mind follows the body. If your body is tense, your mind will be too. If your body is at ease, your thoughts slow down. So let go inch by inch. Start with your toes. Feel them. Are they curled? Gripping? Even if you think they're relaxed, look closer. There's always a little more to release. Let them go loose, heavy. Then your ankles, the subtle tension where your legs meet your feet, let that dissolve. Your calves, your knees, the places you don't even think about until you focus on them. That's where the real holding happens. Now your thighs, the heaviest part of your life. Feel them sinking, not forcing, just allowing your hips where most people carry stress without knowing. If your hips are tight, your mind is tight, so let them open. Your lower back, the place that aches after a long day. Imagine it softening, spreading out, supported by the ground beneath you. Each vertebrae one by one. The weight of your upper body resting on it. The places where you hunch without realizing, let them lengthen your shoulders, probably the tightest of all. Most people live with their shoulders up by their ears and never notice. Let them drop, really drop your arms, your hands, fingers uncurling, your neck, the place where thoughts turn into physical tension. The tighter your neck, the noisier your mind. Let it go. Your jaw, your teeth clenched even slightly, your tongue pressed to the roof of your mouth. Release your forehead, the space between your eyebrows, the last place we hold stress. Smooth it out. Now your whole body is heavy, not because you forced it, but because you noticed it. You allowed it, and now your mind is quieter, not empty but slower. The thoughts are there, but they don't. They come and go like clouds. This is the first step. Not controlling the mind, but preparing the body, because the mind follows the body always. Most people try to meditate starting with their thoughts. They sit down and immediately wrestle with their mind, fighting distractions, forcing focus. But that's like trying to calm a storm by shouting at the wind. It doesn't work. The body must come first. The deeper the body relaxes, the quieter the mind becomes, not by force, but by natural progression. So tonight we don't start with affirmations or visualizing, we start with the body. Because if your body is tense, no amount of mental effort will bring real change. But if your body is at ease, the mind follows effortlessly. And in that space where the body is soft and the mind is open, that's where real transformation begins. Feel the difference now, the weight, the stillness. The mind isn't empty, but it's no longer racing. Thoughts come, but they don't pull you away. This is the foundation, the unshakable ground we build on. Without this, manifestation is just wishing. With it, manifestation becomes inevitable. The illusion of control. You don't have to make anything happen. That's the first lie manifestation culture sold you. The idea that if you just try hard enough, visualize hard enough, affirm hard enough, the universe will bend to your will. But that's not how it works. The universe doesn't respond to force. It responds to alignment. Think about it. When you're desperate for something, when you cling to it, does it come or does it feel further away? That's not a coincidence, it's a sign. The more you try to control, the more you push it away, because control is an illusion. You can't force the universe, you can't demand reality to change, but you can align with it. Tonight, we are not begging for change. We are not visualizing from a place of lack of I hope this happens. We're becoming the kind of person who already has it. The difference is everything. One comes from fear, the other from trust, one comes from effort, the other from surrender. Manifestation isn't about controlling outcomes, it's about controlling your state, your energy, your vibration. When you're aligned, when you're in the frequency of what you want, it doesn't feel like effort, it feels like inevitability, like remembering, not create. Most people get this backwards. They think if they just do the right thing, say the right words, follow the right steps, their desires will materialize. But that's like planting a seed and digging it up every day to check if it's growing. You're not helping, you're interfering. Real trust means planting the seed and walking away. It means knowing the soil will do its job, the sun will do its job, the rain will do its job. Your only job is to prepare the ground, your mind, your energy, and then let go. That's what we're doing tonight. Not forcing, not demanding, not clinging, just aligning, becoming the version of you that already has what you want. Because that version isn't anxious, isn't desperate, isn't trying to control every detail. That version is calm, certain, at peace. And then you are in that state. The universe responds differently. Not because you've twisted its arm, but because you've matched its frequency like tuning a radio. You don't shout at the static to clear up, you adjust the dial. So tonight we are adjusting the dial. We are not visualizing from a place of I want. We are feeling from a place of I have. Not because we're pretending, but because we're preparing. The more you live in that energy, the more reality has no choice but to reflect it back. This isn't about effort, it's about allowing. And that's the hardest part for most people to accept because we're taught that nothing happens without struggle, without force. But the truth, the deepest transformations happen in surrender, in trust, in letting go of the illusion that you're in charge. The universe knows what to do. Your subconscious knows what to do. Tonight we're getting out of the way and letting them work. The breath as an anchor. Breathe in and out. Not deep, not forced, just natural. Let the air move through you without effort, without control. Your breath is always there, steady, constant, the one thing you can always return to. It's the bridge between your thoughts and your subconscious. The deeper you sink into the rhythm of it, the quieter your mind becomes. Not because you're forcing it to be quiet, but because you're giving it something to focus on that isn't noise. Most people think breathing is just something that happens. They don't realize it's the most powerful tool they have to shift their state. When you're stressed, your breath is shallow, quick, tight. When you're at peace, it's slow, deep, easy. But here's the thing, it works both ways. Your breath doesn't just reflect your emotions, it can change them. Slow your breath. It doesn't need to be told what to do every second. It knows it's always working, always processing, always moving you toward what you need. If you let it, the more you fill the space with noise, the harder it is for that deeper knowing to rise up. But when you allow silence, when you trust it, that's when the real magic happens. So tonight, we don't over-explain, we don't over-guide, we speak when needed, and we let the silence do the rest. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. Just be, just listen, just let go. And in that surrender, everything else falls into place. Letting go of how. Your job isn't to figure out how it will happen. Your job is to decide it will. That's the shift. That's where most people get stuck. They try to control the path instead of trusting the destination. They obsess over the steps, the details, the perfect sequence of events that will lead them to what they want. But here's the truth. The how isn't your problem. The how is the universe's problem. And the universe is much better at figuring it out than you are. Think about it. When you plant a seed, do you stand over it demanding to know exactly how it will grow? Do you stress about the angle of the roots, the timing of each leaf, the precise moment the stem breaks through the soil? No, you plant it, you water it, you trust the process. You know the seed contains everything it needs, the intelligence, the blueprint, the life force to become what it's meant to be. Your only job is to provide the right conditions and then step back. It's the same with manifestation. You are the planter, not the architect. You don't need to know how the bridge will be built between where you are and where you want to be. You don't need to map every turn, anticipate every obstacle, or micromanage the journey. That's not your role. Your role is to decide to plant the seed of intention and then release the need to control how it grows. This is where the real work happens, not in the planning but in the surrendering. Most people can declare what they want, but few can truly let go of how it arrives. They cling to their limited ideas of what's possible, their narrow visions of how things should unfold. And in that clinging, they block the very thing they're trying to create. Because the universe doesn't work in straight lines. It works in spirals, in detours, in ways that often make no sense until you're on the other side looking back. Tonight we practice letting go not as an act of giving up, but as an act of supreme trust. We release the burden of needing to know, needing to control, needing to orchestrate every detail. We plant our intention clear, focused, unwavering, and then we step back. We do our part and we trust the universe to do its part. This doesn't mean we become passive. It means we become discerning. We take inspired action when it feels right, but we don't force action out of fear or impatience. We show up, but we don't manipulate. We move, but we don't hustle. We allow the path to unfold instead of trying to carve it ourselves. The irony is that the moment you truly release the how, the moment you stop straining to see the entire staircase and simply take the first step with faith, that's when the magic happens. That's when doors open you didn't even know existed. That's when people show up, opportunities arise, and synchronicities occur in ways you could never have planned. So tonight, we don't visualize the steps, we don't strategize the path. We hold the end result, the feeling, the state, the knowing, and we let the universe handle the rest. We don't need to know how the pieces will come together. We just need to know they will. The mirror of emotions. If you're frustrated, anxious, or doubtful good, that's not a sign you're doing it wrong. That's the resistance leaving. That's the old patterns, the old fears, the old limitations rising to the surface so they can be released. Most people make the mistake of fighting these emotions, of judging them, of trying to push them away. But here's the truth. The more you try to suppress them, the louder they get. Emotions are not obstacles, they are mirrors. They show you where you're still holding on, where you're still resisting, where you're still not quite believing in what you're trying to manifest. When frustration comes up, it's not because the universe isn't listening. It's because part of you still doubts it will. When anxiety surfaces, it's not because you're failing. It's because part of you is still attached to the old version of reality. These emotions aren't your enemies. They're your teachers. They're showing you the exact places where your alignment isn't complete, where your trust isn't total. And the way through isn't to fight them, but to acknowledge them, to sit with them, to let them move through you without making them mean anything about your progress or your worth. Tonight, we don't bypass the discomfort. We don't skip straight to forced positivity. We meet whatever comes up with curiosity, not judgment. When doubt creeps in, we don't shame ourselves for it. We notice it. We observe it. We ask, what is this doubt trying to protect me from? What old story is it attached to? And then we let it go, not by force, but by understanding. This is how real transformation happens. Not by pretending. The shadows don't exist, but by bringing light to them. Not by avoiding the resistance, but by moving through it. Every emotion that surfaces tonight is an opportunity to release, to heal, to realign. The frustration isn't blocking your manifestation, it's clearing the path for it. The anxiety isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of growth. So when these feelings come, don't resist, don't distract yourself. Don't rush to affirm them away, breathe into them. Feel them fully and then let them pass like a wave that crashes and then recedes, leaving the shore clearer than before. The most powerful work happens in these moments. Not when everything feels easy, but when you stay present with what doesn't. That's where the real shifts occur. That's where the old patterns lose their grip. That's where you prove to yourself, not in theory, but in experience, that you can feel fear and still trust, feel doubt and still believe, feel resistance and still move forward. Tonight, we don't chase away the shadows. We sit with them until they reveal their gifts, and then we watch as they dissolve on their own. Not because we fought them, but because we stopped seeing them as threats and started seeing them as allies in our transformation. The garden of the mind. Imagine your mind as a garden. Not just any garden, a living, breathing space where every thought you entertain takes root and grows. Some thoughts are like weeds. They sprout up unwanted, spreading quickly, choking out the plants you actually want to cultivate. Others are like delicate flowers. They need care, attention, and the right conditions to thrive. Tonight, we're not just planting any seeds. We're planting seeds of already having, not wanting. Feel the difference. When you plant a seed of wanting, what grows more wanting? The energy of lack, the feeling that something is missing. That seed might grow into a plant, but it will always bear the fruit of not enough. But when you plant a seed of already having, something else happens. You shift from longing to belonging, from hoping to knowing. The garden of your mind starts to reflect a reality where what you desire isn't some distant dream. It's already here, already yours, already real. This isn't about pretending. It's about embodying. When you plant a seed in the earth, you don't stand there demanding proof that it will grow. You don't dig it up every day to check. You trust the process. You water it. You give it sunlight. You believe in what you can't yet see. That's what we're doing tonight. We're not just imagining what we want. We're feeling what it's like to already have it. We're not visualizing from a place of emptiness, but from a place of fullness. Close your eyes. See your mind as this vast, fertile space. Every thought you've ever had has left its mark. Some parts of the garden are overgrown with old fears, old doubts, old stories that no longer serve you. Other parts are bare, waiting for new seeds to be planted. Tonight, we're clearing away the weeds, not by fighting them, but by no longer feeding them. We are turning our attention to the soil, preparing it for something new. Now plant the seed. Not I wish, not I hope, but I have. Feel the difference in your body when you think those words. I have carries a weight, a certainty, a quiet power that I want, can never touch. It's not desperate. It's not hungry. It's calm. It's sure. It's the feeling of someone who knows deep down that what they desire is already theirs. This is how the mind works. It doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined with enough emotional intensity. When you plant a seed of already having, your subconscious accepts it as truth. It starts arranging your reality to match that belief. Opportunities appear. Synchronicities unfold. People and resources show up in ways you couldn't have predicted. Not because you forced it, but because you aligned with it. So tonight, we're not just thinking about our desires, we're living in them. We're walking through the garden of our mind as if it's already full of what we've planted. We're not waiting for proof, we're being the proof. The art of non-attachment. This isn't about clinging to an outcome, it's about trusting the process, like planting a seed and walking away. You don't dig it up to check if it's growing, you don't hover over it demanding to see progress. You plant it, you water it, you let it be. That's the art of non-attachment, the understanding that some things can't be forced, only allowed. Most people struggle with this. They want guarantees, they want timelines. They want to know exactly when and how their desires will manifest. But that's not how life works. The universe doesn't operate on our schedules. It doesn't follow our scripts. It moves in its own time, in its own way. And the more we try to control it, the more we slow it down. Non-attachment isn't indifference. It's not about not caring. It's about caring deeply, but without desperation. It's the difference between holding something with an open palm and clutching it in a white-knuckled grip. One allows movement, flow, life. The other suffocate. Tonight we practice letting go not of our desires, but of our need to control how they come to us. We hold our intentions lightly like feathers, not like stones. We don't obsess over the when or the how. We focus on the what and the why. And we trust the universe to handle the rest. This is where real power lies. Not in forcing outcomes, but in aligning with them. Not in demanding, but in allowing. When you can want something without needing it, that's when it comes. When you can desire without attachment, that's when the magic happens. So tonight we plant our seed. We water our dreams with our attention, our belief, and the emotions that breathe life into them. Every time we envision what we desire, every time we speak words of faith instead of fear, we are planting seeds in the unseen soil of possibility. But here's the part most of us miss. After the planting, after the watering, there comes a moment when we have to step back. We can't keep digging up the seeds to check if they're growing. We can't second guess the process or demand instant results. The soil needs time. The roots need darkness before the bloom can break through the surface. Our job is to trust, to let go, and to give life the space it needs to work on our behalf. This isn't always easy. Our minds want control, want certainty, want proof. But true manifestation isn't about control. It's about alignment. When we let go, we release our tight grip on how and when things should happen. We stop standing in the way of the very blessings we've been asking for. Letting go is not giving up. It's saying, I trust that what's mine will find me. It's understanding that your only responsibility is to show up with belief and gratitude, and then allow the universe, God, or life itself to handle the rest. And this is where gratitude changes everything. Gratitude isn't just a polite thank you when things go right. It's a powerful frequency, a way of being that transforms your entire perspective. When you're grateful before the harvest comes, when you give thanks for blessings you haven't even seen yet, you are planting faith so deep that doubt cannot shake it. Gratitude tells life, I trust you. I know good things are on the way. That vibration, that energy becomes like a magnet for the very things you desire. Think of gratitude not as one step in the process, but as the entire staircase that leads you to what you want. Each grateful thought, each thankful prayer, each moment of appreciation builds another step under your feet, carrying you higher and higher until one day you look around and realize you've arrived. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from fear to faith, from impatience to trust. It keeps you moving forward even when you can't yet see the outcome. So water your dreams with belief, release them with trust, and anchor yourself in gratitude. Because when you live in that space where faith and thankfulness meet, you create the perfect environment for everything you've ever wanted to finally find its way to